welcome back. We are back and ready to talk to you about NVIDIA again. In our last NVIDIA video, which I will go ahead and get that linked for you if you want to check it out, we discussed how the company is facing some headwinds that had the possibility of turning into tailwinds. So you can be sure we will be following up on that. We've been waiting for NVIDIA to report, and it was surprisingly good. So let's jump into it. Thomas, in your recent article for MarketBeat, you mentioned shares of NVIDIA are rocketing higher. Let's talk about that for a minute here. Recap it for us if you would, please.
Yeah, the results were better than expected on the top and the bottom line, and they gave favorable guidance, and that wasn't expected at all. Within that, gaming was a strong spot, and that was not expected because industry trends in gaming suggest a big slowdown is happening, so we weren't looking for any kind of strength there. And AI was strong as well. AI and next generation chips were hot, and that's really what the story is right now is AI.
All right, was there anything negative in the report that investors should take note of?
The report wasn't really so good as it was less bad than it was expected. So it's being perceived as good. Revenue is still down 20%. And gaming and AI is driven by a shift to next generation, not so much by consumer demand. That's good, but it didn't really produce the blowout that it could have been. And like I said before, the gaming industry trends aren't really favorable. So this kind of strength may not last.
All right, what are we seeing with the market now that the release is out? Has anything changed since last month, since the last time we talked about this stock together?
Yeah, let's look at the chart. Right. So I believe last time we talked, NVIDIA was down here heading up for a reversal. And what has happened since then is the chart is confirming reversal. We have here a textbook head and shoulders pattern. You see price comes down, makes a low, makes a lower low, and then a higher low. It's a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. And this would be the neckline of that pattern. The market's crossed above this neckline and confirming reversal. So I think that we're going to continue going higher. The analysts are helping this. The analysts have been pretty happy with the results, and they're raising price targets and kind of affirming their sentiment. That is a major tailwind for the stock. And just while we're talking about it, here's a technical lesson for you. You know, we look at these patterns and we use them to make predictions. And that's because they are highly predictable. And one thing that you have to learn is to measure the magnitude of patterns. And that's how deep or how large it is. This head and shoulders starts up here at the neckline and comes down. That's a $100 magnitude pattern. So when you project $100 to the neckline, the stock could very easily gain $100 and come up here to retest these all-time highs.
All right, Thomas, and as always, MarketBeat wants to keep investors informed. So what are the risks here, if any, that we need to be aware of?
Let me switch to the daily chart. The risk right now, and you can kind of see it happening in the price action, is that the stock is going to close this gap before it continues higher. Now you can see right before the earnings release was released, the stock corrected back to the trend line, and then it surged higher. This created a price gap. And what tends to happen is the market will close this gap before it moves on to complete the next movement. That's the biggest risk.
Right, and what are the analysts saying about NVIDIA currently?
They like what they see, but they're focused on AI and the ChatGPT angle. There's not so much interest in the broad-based demand for chips. So I think that right now they're supporting the price action, but their consensus target has the stock trading at fair value right now, and that could cap gains.
All right, and how high do you think NVIDIA can go, Thomas?
Well, my targets are at 275 and 330. These are major selling points from the previous year. But like I said, the analyst and maybe the valuation will cap the gains. The stock is in a no growth period, and that should not equal a 40x or 50x multiple. So I think we have an upward trend, but we'll probably be capped at the all-time highs.
All right, well, that wrap for analysis of NVIDIA's recent earnings report. While there are some positives to take away, such as the better than expected results and favorable guidance, there are also some areas of concerns to keep in mind, such as a 20% drop in revenue, However, despite these challenges, it's clear that the market is responding positively to NVIDIA's performance, with analysts raising price targets and upgrading their outlook for the stock. As we move forward, it'll be interesting to see how NVIDIA continues to perform. Thanks for tuning in with us today. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much, Thomas.
Thanks, Lacey. See you next time.